Is free speech free anymore? Now you see across the world it's pretty much not. And it's actually slowly happening here, and we've got the stories to prove it. There's some new leaked footage and audio from Kamala and Schumer that should scare the ever-living mess out of you. Not only that, are we paying people to go to rallies now? Isn't it funny how the underhanded stuff that one side does is not a big deal. When Trump does something, everybody makes a huge deal out of it. Oh, did you hear about the influencers? All of a sudden influencers are working for foreign governments. What do we call all these other governments that pay into these influencers? And also, this government actually wants Kamala to win. Crazy. Let's talk about all these stories today because these are eye-openers. And the sad thing is, we're in the reality of living in this dream. It's no longer fear. It's the fact that you are now living in exactly what we're talking about right now. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about this content. First, let's talk about some shocking statistics and how it coalesces exactly with what the Democrats have wanted to do. They've actually been very successful this last 4 years, not for America's sake, but for everyone else's sake. Changing the money, they've done pretty good at that. Making sure Americans depend on them, they've done pretty good with that. Also making sure they have done a replacement, they've done pretty good with that. So on the retrospective look of what Democrats have done, they actually have done exactly what they wanted to do when they took over power. That is what scares me to death. Let's talk about why I say that. There's a new report, shocking. A new jobs report number just came out. The most shocking is this. Listen to this. Foreign-born workers, meaning the people that were not born in America that has come here, are up 2,035,000 jobs over 12 months. So over 2 million new workers have been placed in from foreign countries that are not American. Now listen to this. Native-born jobs, meaning people that were born here, American citizens, are down 392,000. So down 400,000. So that's a 2.4 to 2.5 million number swing. 2 million more illegals hired, 2 million foreign-born hired, and 400,000 basically lost their jobs. Now that's not just the only number that's startling about the jobs numbers and jobs report. Full-time workers are down 438,000. Part-time workers are up 527,000. So again, as I said, Democrats are doing just what they wanted to, basically replacing their voter base, replacing people in our nation to where Americans are losing jobs, but foreign-born people are getting our jobs. Not only that, the dependency. If Americans are losing their job, and then also if they're losing their job, they're not getting full-time work, they're getting part-time work, therefore they're going to become more dependent on the dole of the government, meaning more people are going to have to pay for them to make it in this high-inflated, high-interest world that we now live in. So those are two jobs reports that play right into the Democrats' hands. Now you say, Colby, that's all far-fetched. Nobody believes that they believe that they want to change and replace you. Listen to this Schumer quote, and I think this will prove my point. Schumer said this in front of everybody. He made this as a opening remarks for something he was talking about. It says, the only way we're ever going to have a great future in America, listen to this now, is by, quote, granting citizenship to millions of illegal aliens. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. So you don't believe that they're trying to skew every election from here on out. If all of a sudden they get an extra 10 to 15 million people voting and they're the ones that made it happen, you have now basically sealed the deal where there won't be another Republican president, probably won't be a Republican Congress, and probably won't be a Republican Senate ever again. Because now they're doing exactly what they wanted to do from the get-go. We're in wars that we can't afford. We're in debt up to our eyeballs. And he just said, we're going to replace you. And basically that's what they're doing. Not only that, the fact is Americans are losing jobs to immigrants. Now, am I for people coming in legally? No. I think that's a great thing. I think it helps our country always get the very best and brightest of the world. But you know, sometimes patience is a good thing. And when we wait for something, then it gets better over time. It's kind of like retirements or kind of like anything that we own with our homes. We hope that it grows, it becomes more precious, it becomes wiser, it becomes a different part of us, because that patience makes it grow and makes us grow fonder more of it, and we become not envious of it, we become so proud of it. Well, when we allow people to come here legally, what we're actually doing is saying, be proud of where you're coming. And true citizens that come from other countries that are legal, they literally will come and be proud. But when you allow these people to come illegal and the government just gives them everything, then you're building the next third world country and also the fall of America. Now let's talk freedom of speech. Kamala came out and said, and she was actually saying this at a NAACP rally, that I will direct the DOJ to ultimately censor misinformation and hate online. Now, she doesn't tell how she's going to do that. What she says is, I will decipher and I will decide what true speech is and what's absolute free speech and what's not. And remember, that goes against everything that our Constitution says. But she said this on several occasions. So they're leaking this information, I think, and what they're trying to do is drip it out a little bit, like Schumer, like Kamala, where they're dripping these little details out to where you won't freak out as much. It's kind of like the frog bowling in the water. If they just do it just a little at a time, you won't notice how far you've come when you turn around. Look at Brazil. I mean, they take X away. They take a platform where people get their news away. Think how many stories we wouldn't have if we wouldn't have independent journalists or independent medias or independent social media that was open. I think about the story that come out with, the Russians paying, all these people to be influencers. Most of those influencers were not really the biggest Trump fans. And then on top of that, Putin came out this week and said that he would support and fully back Harris for a 2024 win. Now, that's kind of funny. And I think the reason he wants to back her is because he knows he can get his way and keep doing what he wants to do because Kamala's a weak leader. But I digress. It's amazing that they're saying Russia is making Trump win when Putin just came out and said he wants Kamala to win and that they will do all they can to support that. So make sure that you're getting these reliable sources. And these influencers, they all got kicked off social media. The ones that were directly tied to it. Is it innocent until proven guilty, or is it just guilty, period? And it gives them the leg up to take them off their platforms. Scary times that we live in. Now, I want you to think, well, and again, if we go back to free speech, how important is it? Blinken just warned his staff at Secretary of State. Secretary of State Department, listen to this, warns that you cannot use the words manpower, you cannot use the words you guys, you cannot use the words ladies and gentlemen, you cannot use mother, father, son or daughter, or husband, wife. You will be reprimanded for using those words. So do we have freedom of speech when all of a sudden the Democrats always push for democracy and populist rule and all this garbage? Because ultimately they're taking your rights for freedom away. You can't even say mother, father, husband, wife. You can't say manpower. I mean, come on. We are now growing up in a clown world. That's exactly what our leadership's doing. This is what this party does. And so they drip these little things out, and they talk about, we're not going to allow hate speech. We're not going to allow that. Well, who classifies what hate speech is? It's a slippery slope. There's people that speak on YouTube, or people that speak on X, or influencers that are on the left that I personally don't like to listen to. I'm not going to listen to. The thing is, we should never take that away. Us as Americans should know both sides, so that way they can make a good, common sense, wise approach to decide what's best for them and their family. Now again, I can't understand why anybody wants to vote Democrat when they have ruined this country for the last 3 years, and then on top of that, they're wanting to take your jobs. The jobs numbers from the government prove it. The fact of what they're saying about free speech proves it. And then also how they're trying to censor and close down certain people who are speaking truth. Be careful. And that's what's important. Now, I do think some people are waking up, because this is probably the biggest bombshell of the day, and I thought this was huge. Polls, you can't hardly trust polls. I understand that, but I thought this was a phenomenal poll. Again, Real Clear Politics, which is, again, one that's very known, it says that Trump electoral college victory is very likely. Remember, it does not matter about the populist vote. It's talking about electoral college. It says that he is up 24 points when it comes to the electoral college, believing he will believe it and bring it home. It says that Trump is up, and it looks like he has a 61.4% chance, the odds, of winning the Electoral College, where Harris has a 37.4% odds. Now, two things you need to learn from this poll. That means we got to keep on keeping on and keep promoting freedom and keep promoting America first. What we don't want to do is just get lackadaisical and lazy and then let her change these numbers. When they're that big of a swing where he's up by 24 points in the odds of winning the Electoral College, that's not close. So don't let them tell you it's way closer than that. Truth be told, when she speaks, as I said in another video, it actually benefits Republicans because it tells exactly what she's looking for. Either she doesn't have knowledge on really what she believes in policies and agendas, because ultimately she just says whatever she's needing to say for the time being. She is a complete and utter puppet. Or she's going to try to keep on dogging out Trump. And Trump is saying, like today he came out with corporate tax rates, it's 15% versus what she's wanting at 25 and 30 and 44% and all these different numbers. The way people get back to work is when people provide jobs. When people provide jobs and they have incentives to hire people that are American, then that will take place and that will make America grow, the economy do better. The jobs numbers were faulty. The jobs numbers also represents that Americans are not getting jobs and that the jobs they are getting are part-time. We are becoming dependent on a system that they have built, and they have actually conquered their goals for the last 3 to 4 years. Biden Harris has done exactly what they wanted to do, which is ultimately hurt America. Focus on these things. If you don't value free speech, if you don't value your own money, your own property, less taxes and freedom, then vote for Kamala. But when you think about it, if you have some common sense and some wisdom, no matter what side of the aisle you used to be on, because we're in a total unprecedented election, you cannot tell me you can support Kamala when you can support Trump and hopefully just see America come back to normalcy again. Again, we're not talking about this major conservative. We're talking about Trump, who's a populist, who is wanting people like RFK to serve and Elon Musk to serve and Tulsi Gabbard to serve and Vivek to serve, and has a good relationship with DeSantis. So he is hitting every targeted group. Now it's time for us as Americans to stand up and support him. Guys, let me know your thoughts on these stories. It scares me to death about the, taking away my freedom of speech. That's a pretty big deal. Remember, that's why I'm on here. And we need to pay attention to what's going on. Guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this content. God bless.